Hi, my name is Paul Grogan and welcome to the Gaming Rules monthly video log for the month of April 2019. Now, there's been a bit of a delay in recording this video log. It's actually being recorded in the middle of May, but I'm going to try and keep things focused on what I did in April. Now, there's various reasons for the delay. I don't want to go into too many details, but I've been suffering a few personal anxiety issues recently, and I've kind of built up a bit of a thing about doing this video log. I was nervous about it first, so I delayed it. Then I got more nervous about it and everything else, and then just the thought of even doing it. Anyway, my anxiety has been spiraling out of control for the last couple of weeks, so I'm hoping that actually getting this video log done is going to get me over that hurdle. I have still been producing other content and stuff like that. It's just been this video that I've been having a bit of an issue with. Anyway, moving on, let's first talk about all of the games that I was playing in the month of April. And I'm going to try and keep this, as I say, to just the ones that I played in April. Now, I felt that I played quite a number of games in April. However, when I went through the photos on my iPad, because I try and take a photo of every game that I've played, and then at the end of the month, I basically update my BGG profile with all of the games that I played. And I went through, and I thought, oh yeah, I've played loads of games this month. But when I went through it, it turns out that I haven't really that many. And unfortunately, I'm looking at the list now. Unfortunately, a number of the games that I've been playing this month, I've been playing because I needed to play for work-related reasons. That's not to say that they're not good games, but my time playing games of my choosing has been definitely less than normal. So, start of April, I played the Anachrony, the base game of Anachrony, and the reason for this is because I was doing a tutorial and playthrough video of the expansion, which is been on Kickstarter, has now finished, very successfully funded, but I needed basically a refresher of the base game of Anachrony before we jumped into doing the expansion. So on the 3rd of April, I basically just got a couple of friends around and we played the base game of Anachrony. I wasn't professionally involved in Anachrony at all. I have been in the expansion, but not in the base game. So I can say without any bias that Anachrony is a really good game. I really do enjoy the game, and yeah, played the base game. Now, just touching on the expansion a bit, Fractures of Time adds this whole extra dimension. It changes the game up a bit, and I can now see that, if you've played the base game about, half a dozen times or maybe even a dozen times, then the expansion is going to give you this extra level of detail that you're going to want to the game, and you're probably not going to want to go back to the basic game. Saying that, I haven't tried the expansions that came with the base game yet, and I do really want to. But anyway, played the base game of Anachrony, very much enjoyed it, didn't do very well again. Right, another game I've been playing a lot of this month is one that I definitely can't give my personal opinion on, and that is On Mars, because I am very heavily involved in this game. I have been helping with the development of the game for the last 4 months. I've been writing the rulebook for the last 4 months. I've been doing demos of it at various UK events, and I am so heavily invested in this game. I mean, I'm seeing Mars everywhere I go. It's like it's taken over my life. Anyway, I have played it a whole bunch of times. I think I played it 4 or 5 times in the month because I was doing a video on it. I needed practice at it. And also, some of the demos that I've been doing of the game have been with Patreon supporters, and I wasn't being paid for it. So I thought, well, I'm going to play in this game as well. So as well as teaching the game to others, I've also been playing in a game, which I normally don't do. When I'm demoing a game professionally, I don't play in it because I'm there to teach. So anyway, I've been playing a lot of On Mars. Town Centre is another game which I have done a rules video for. It's being edited and it should be out, I'll say next month. It might even be this month, but actually, no, it might be next month. Anyway, Town Centre, Album VR game, Ludi Creations. Again, I'm involved in this one, so I can't really say much about it, That's one of the cats, more on the cats later, but that's one of the cats up on the kitchen work surface where he shouldn't be. So apologies for that. Anyway, Town Centre, I've been playing a lot of it because, again, I needed to learn it, I needed to do the video on it, so I've played it a bunch of times. What else? Letter Jam from CGE. I am going to be doing demos of Letter Jam at UK Games Expo, and I've been playing a lot of that. So yeah, as I say, I've been doing a lot of playing of games which I'm involved in, and I can't really talk much about my personal opinion. We did play Gloomhaven. So our Gloomhaven group got together on the 21st of April. Vicky started a new character. It's the one with the 3 spears. Again, I'm not going to say any spoilers for those people who don't want the spoilers, but it's the character with the 3 spears. So she played that character for the first time. We played scenario number 20, which is the Necromancer's Sanctum, which is quite a big scenario storyline-wise, but as I've mentioned in previous videos, people are going, well, hang on a minute, you've been playing this game for 2.5 years. How are you only just doing this scenario? And it's because our chosen path of the scenarios that we took us in a completely different direction. So we didn't go down this route, and we're now going back and doing this route. We are now playing, so one of the characters is level 9 and the rest of us are level 7. And as I've mentioned in other places, I do agree with the criticism that the game gets that it does break down at higher levels. We're playing the game now on level +2 and we're still doing it. Whereas when we started playing, or when we were sort of levels 2 and 3, we were playing on normal difficulty and we were just about scraping through. It's not that we're better as players, but I do feel that the game does break down a bit at the higher levels. We're playing on +2 and we're still doing it. It's still a challenge, it's just not as much of a challenge as I'd like, and we can't really go beyond that. But we are still enjoying the game, and now that that particular storyline is wrapped up, we thought, oh, that's the end of another big storyline. Oh, but no, it opens up 2 or 3 other ones. And in other news, the expansion's just arrived as well. So anyway, Gloomhaven, still loving it, still one of my favourite games, getting on with that. At the end of April, I went to BayCon. BayCon is a UK games convention that's been running for 35 years, I think. It's certainly over 30 years, and it's down the road. It's in Exeter, well, just on the outskirts of Exeter. I've been going for the last, 5, 6, 7 years now. It's like 20 minutes drive away. So, accommodation costs, none, because I stay here. And I played a bunch of games there. What I decided to do was to work 50-50 at BayCon rather than 100%, like I normally do. And I mostly succeeded in that. It was probably 60-40, but I got in a bunch of games that I played for myself for fun, which I really enjoyed. So, before BayCon started, I played the new Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth game. Tom came round. Tom was staying over here for BayCon and he was driving me in each day. And we played a quick Lord of the Rings game in the morning before we went off to BayCon. I'm doing a review of that later this month, so in May, hopefully. But if you want to see me basically unboxing the video, going through the components, sort of learning how to play, and then playing through the first scenario, that video is on my channel right now. You can go and watch us doing that. It's not even really a first impressions. I don't really give my impressions during the video, but if you have watched the video, you'll probably realise by halfway through I was getting bored of the flavour text and just skipping past it. So that's a little bit of a spoiler about how boring I found some of the flavour text. What else did I play at BayCon? I played Gentis, or Gentis, or Hentis, however you want to pronounce it, I don't know. But Gentis is a game which I broke my rules on the don't say your personal opinion on games that you are professionally involved in. Tasty Minstrel Games asked me to do the official rules video for this game, based on the original printing of the game because they were doing a new version. And I said at the time, I loved it. It's a really good game. I very, very much like the mechanisms within the game, the playtime, the crunchy decisions, and it's all fairly elegant. I love the time mechanic, and the deluxe edition just looks great. So very happy to play that, and it's one of those games that I will rarely say no to a game of. It's really good. I have lost one of the blue pieces though, but I did put the game in the insert while I was in bed. So it's probably in bed somewhere. What else did I play? I'm going to save the best to last. I played Arkham Horror. So 4 of us got together and we played a one-off scenario. We did the Carnival of Horrors, which is a scenario I've not played. And me and Rick generated some pre-built decks. We basically created 4 decks, 4-player decks, using cards only from the base set and from Dunwich. And we used 9 experience points to build those decks because I'd heard the scenario was quite hard. So we built some decks with 9 experience points, because if you build a deck with 10 experience points, you have to put an extra weakness in. And basically we played through it. We failed dismally. The scenario is quite hard. It's interesting. It does things a little differently. I won't say too much because of spoilers, but there were a number of rules clarifications which we needed. And there was a lot of the game which we were like, we're not really sure how that works. Now that we've played it once, me and Rick can go away and start looking up some of the answers, because we didn't want to do that before because of spoilers. But now that we've sort of seen it, it is one that I do want to play again, either as a standalone scenario or you can introduce it in the middle of one of your Arkham Horror campaigns. The Arkham Horror, as regular viewers will know, is I've played through the whole of the Dunwich Legacy. Dunwich, I don't know how you pronounce it. officially. I am eager to start again. I just don't have the time at the moment to commit to, a regular group, and I do want to do a good chunk, a 4 or 5 hour session, and get a few scenarios done. I also played a game of Newton, which Rachel wanted to play after doing my review last month, and Newton, I just really enjoy Newton. It's, it's just one of those solid Euro games. It plays quick. It's got lots of decisions. It's got all the classic Euro things that I like in it. And yeah, really, really like playing Newton, and I got a game in at BayCon. And finally, Graham Charlton took his time and taught me how to play Space Corp. I say he took his time, he did, but he was playing in the game as well. Very good teach, thank you very much, Graham. Space Corp is by GMT Games. I think it's Space Corp 20 something or other to 2030, whatever it's called, to give it its full name. This is a game which many people have said I would really like, and I've heard a number of good things from some people, and I was quite excited about playing it, and it did not disappoint me in any way. It was the best game that I played over the weekend. It was quite long. I think we were 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours, and I didn't do very well at it because I hadn't played it before, but oh my, this is an old school style game. I mean, it's by GMT, so a lot of it graphically looks a little bit old school with counters and things on it, but it's so streamlined and elegant, and it's updated, and it's got modern Euro game mechanics. It's most definitely a Euro game, and I just loved it. GMT have contacted me, and they're going to get me a copy of the game for me to do a review of it, which I'm hopefully picking up at Origins when I go in June, and I just can't wait to play the game again. It's really good. More on that later on when I do a proper review of it, but it's fantastic. Right, that is all of the games that I played in April. I've actually played quite a few in the last couple of weeks, but I'll leave them till the next video log. Patreon changes. So one of the reasons for the delay in this video is my Patreon hasn't had a good month, and that hit me a bit hard. It was harder than I thought. I mean, I get it. People's Patreons go up and down, but a couple of months ago, I posted a graph on social media and Twitter about my Patreon campaign and about how the growth has been steady and it's been really good, and lots of people said congratulations and it's doing really well, and I had some new goals to do a Mage Knight video, and I thought that might be interesting, and I've been engaging more with the solo gaming community, with the Arkham Horror community, with the Mage Knight community, and I thought that reaching out to these new areas and doing new kinds of content and new kinds of video alongside all of my older stuff might have helped raise awareness of obviously my content and the campaign to other audiences, and it's not. It's had the reverse effect. The Patreon for the first month has seen a decline. Now, I'm not saying that nobody new joined. A number of people did join, and I'm very thankful of that, but more people left that month than any other month. It was a massive drop. Now, a lot of the people, to be fair, contacted me about it either through the Patreon campaign when they left or privately. It seems it's been a really bad month for people financially with losing their jobs or whatever. And that's what I'm saying is, for those people who still watch my content, who used to support me on Patreon, who can't anymore for financial reasons, it's absolutely fine. I have no problem with that, whatsoever. Everybody's got their own things going on, and I'm not complaining that my Patreon's dropped. I'm just saying it's hard when you put so much extra effort into something, which I have done over the last couple of months, to see the return of that actually go the opposite way from what you'd intended. Anyway, moving on, new changes. So changes, new executive producers. Brian Smith has upgraded his place to executive producer. Thank you very much, Brian. And Andrew Norman is a new executive producer. Thank you very much, Andrew. Andrew runs NormCon, which unfortunately is one of them conventions that I'd love to be able to go to, but it's a bit too far away. There's conventions happening every weekend in the UK. It's crazy. I mean, anybody who thinks of starting their own convention in the UK must be crazy. More on that later. New producers. So a few new producers. Chris Immershine, thank you very much, Chris. Barclay Nichols, thank you very much, and good to see you at BayCon. Anders Hagebakken, that's definitely been pronounced wrong. Apologies for that, Anders. Jan, thank you very much. Pete Noble, thank you very much, Pete. Mike Oney, Mark Blanchard, Dean Bobb, and Gudjon Sigurdsson, which is definitely pronounced wrong, but apologies for that. Some extra supporters at lower levels: Hector Reyes, Adam Kramer and Richard Melvin. Again, thank you very much for all of your support. And although the Patreon did drop in that month, if it weren't for the new people that I've just mentioned, it would have dropped a lot more. Now, every month... Oh, hang on a minute. Just a pause in this while I go and answer the door. Right, I'm back. Another games delivery has just arrived. So anyway, what I was saying is every month I do a contest where one of my Patreon supporters can basically win a game that I've been given to do a giveaway for. And the game that I was giving away at the end of April was Tiny Towns from AEG. Now, I've done a Tiny Towns playthrough video. Tiny Towns is a game that I've been demoing for AEG in the UK. It's extremely popular. And they gave me an extra copy for me to give away as part of the Patreon campaign. Normally at this point in the video, I would go over to the computer and do a random draw. But what I did is instead is at the charity games day that I ran at the start of May, so at the start of this month, I basically did the draw there. So I got everybody on a list, randomized all the numbers, and got somebody to pick a random number. The winner of the game was Rick Howard, who some of you may know is, he's been on some of my videos, he's helped me out with the Arkham Horror video, he's a good friend and he lives locally. So I'm kind of, you know, glad in a way that that list was in front of people and a random number was picked by a random member of the audience, and it turns out that it's Rick who won. So congratulations to Rick for winning that. And, excuse me, the games to give away for this month. And this is quite exciting. There's 5 games to give away. They're all from Bez. Stuff by Bez. Bez creates these crazy, silly, ingenious party games. And she's given me, well, I've got 3 of them here. So I've got Wibble Plus Plus, I've got Inner Bind, and I've got Inner Bind Junior. But Bez is also throwing in Wibble Plus Plus Deluxe and Kitty Cataclysm. I'm going to be doing the draw. This is the plan anyway. I'm going to be doing the draw at the Gaming Rules live podcast recording, which is happening on the 1st of June. I think it's on Saturday at UK Games Expo, which I think is the 1st of June. Bez is going to come up, going to be there on stage, and we're going to do the draw basically live. And if you are a supporter and you are at UK Games Expo, you don't have to be at the podcast to win. It will go to anybody. But of course, if you do win and you are at the podcast recording, then we can actually give you your product there and then. So that is the contest for this month. So it's 5 games from Stuff by Bez. Thank you very much to Bez for the support and the donation of the games. And yeah, I talked about Wibble Plus Plus a few times because I've played it at a few family gatherings now. It's a really good little card game. It's got 5 games in one, and yeah, one of them we weren't too keen on, which was the Fable, where you kind of tell a story, but certainly Wibble Plus Plus was really good, really clever and worked really well. So anyway, that's the contest for this month. If you are basically a producer level or above, then at the end of this month, or on the 1st of June, I'll be doing the draw and you'll be in with a chance to win. Right, content that I created in April, some of which I've mentioned already. So I did a review of Mombasa. My Patreon supporters, producer level and above, get to vote on which games I'm going to review in the month. And this month they picked Mombasa and Concordia. Thankfully, because that means I'm then going to have to go and play those games. Excuse me. I'm going to have to play those games a little bit more to refresh my memory on them to see how they play before I do the review. And thankfully, both games are fantastic. So, Mombasa, go and watch my review of it. Caused a little bit of controversy because I use a house rule for Mombasa. It was a bit of a joke. There isn't really a house rule. Basically, if you go on the space where you need maximum bananas, you shout maximum bananas, or max bananas. That's it. So it's not really a house rule, but some people were like, oh no, I'm refusing to watch the video because you're using a house rule which is against the designer's intent. It's a joke, okay? Unfortunately, because of my my English dry humour and the way that I delivered the joke within the video, I had a Facebook message from the designer of the game, basically saying, Paul, I don't get your house rule. Is it that you can only go to that space if you have more banana? No. It's a joke. It's a joke. It was like, right, okay. He says your English dry humour defeated. It's like, yeah. So yeah, apologies for those people who thought I was being serious, but the max bananas is just a jokey house rule. Anyway, Mombasa review, go watch it if you're interested. in hearing what I think about it. I was supposed to be doing a Concordia review as well, and I haven't. Unfortunately, that Concordia review is being pushed back. I am planning to film it tomorrow. I am planning to play it again tonight, but I wanted to do a good job of it. And it's another one a bit like this video that I've kind of been putting off because I want to do a proper job, and that's kind of spiraled a bit about. Anyway, I'll be doing the Concordia review hopefully tomorrow. I did a live Q&A with Paul Harris from HandyCon. This was filmed during the BayCon weekend. One night, I think it was Friday or Saturday? Friday night. Paul came back here. We came back early and we did the live Q&A. It's an hour and 3/4 of two guys talking nonsense, but I think it was one of the best live Q&As. We had some really good questions in advance. We had some really good questions in on the show. We had board game puns all the way through. And it was really funny. So yeah, if you've got an hour and 3/4 spare, then go and check out that live Q&A. Podcasts, haven't managed to do the podcast yet. Again, I've been a bit of a bad place regarding my podcasts at the moment. I have one. I've got the interview with Ben Maddox, or the episode where we talk about narrative in games. It's all done. It's all recorded. I just need to edit it, and I haven't managed to find the guts to get on with that yet. But I do need to do that. I might do that probably maybe Friday morning, because I've got podcast 69, which I wanted to do next week as well. What else did I do? Oh yeah, the On Mars video. I did an On Mars tutorial and playthrough video. It's had like, oh hello Loki. I wasn't going to do a cat update yet, but since you've just come in, we have cats now. Oh, this is Loki. Say hello. Say hello to the camera. Okay, so we'll yeah, a bit scared, aren't you? Okay, talk more about the cats in a bit. Yeah, On Mars, 19,000 views. I think it's my most popular video for a long time. It's not surprising really, because it's on Mars. It's Vital Lacerda's new game. So yeah, very pleased with the feedback that I've had on that. These playthrough videos, they're a lot of work. I mean, I've had to learn, I've been writing the rulebook for the game, so you'd think I know it, but it's hard. These videos are a lot of work to make, and thank you very much to all of my Patreon supporters and for Eagle Griffin for making that one possible. Again, it's another weird thing. How has the Patreon had a sharp drop this month when I've had my most popular video? I don't know, it doesn't seem to work out that way. Anyway, did that. I did an unboxing of Mysthea, which is a big box game with lots of miniatures in. I say a big box game. It's not a Gloomhaven, but it's a fairly big box. I did the rulebook for the... No, I didn't do the rulebook. I helped out with the rulebook for this game a while back. Basically, they wanted me to do a day's work on it, but they didn't have the budget, I don't think, or for whatever reasons, to get me to do a full job on it. So I did like a day or 2 days work on it. I did the best I could. And, you know, I've now been sent a copy of the game because it does look quite interesting. And it's one that I do want to play. So it's on the list, it's on the shelf of opportunity. And it will be getting played at some point, hopefully. So that's Mysthea. What else did I do? I thought I did something else as well, but maybe not. So anyway, things that I'm doing this month. I'm doing the review of Concordia. I'm doing a review of the Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth game. I'm going to be doing one more review that I need to ask my Patreon supporters what you want me to review. So expect that question around now-ish. You might actually have got that question before this video goes out. I am going to edit podcast 68, where me and Ben Maddox talk about narrative in games. I'm going to be doing podcast 69, which is from Emma from Emma Studios, talking about the games that she does, and also Team Trevor and what that is. And I'm going to be doing a live Q&A with Berkey and Badger from the Berkey and Badger Show. They don't know it yet, but they're flying into the UK before Expo, and they're coming to stay with me for a day. So we're going to do a live Q&A that night. As I say, I've not told them yet, but I'm going to say it's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy, because those two guys together are just... It's going to be crazy. What else is happening? End of the month. So at the end of this month, I will be going off to the UK Games Expo. UK Games Expo is the UK's largest games convention. I will see many of you there, but for those of you that are watching this that don't know, with one of my hats on, I work for Czech Games Edition, and at UK Games Expo, I will be 90% Czech Games Edition. So I will be working at the CGE booth. In fact, I'm running the CGE booth. So I've been planning that for the last 11 months. We've got a large booth area. We've got 8 demo tables. We're going to be showing Letter Jam and Sanctum, which are two new games that are coming out later this year. We're going to be showing some of the old games as well. But that's where I'm going to be most of the time. Hall 2, booth 418. If you want to get a demo of Letter Jam or Sanctum, then yeah, please come round and get a demo of it. Other things that I am doing at Expo, 2 o'clock on the Saturday afternoon, I am doing a seminar, Paul's Top Tips for Teaching Games. So if you're interested in learning some of my methods that I use for when I'm teaching games to people, and I'm also going to be covering Paul's, the interactive drip feed method as well. So I'm going to be talking about that as well at the seminar. That's 2 o'clock on the Saturday. And also Saturday night, 8 o'clock, I'm going to be doing the Gaming Rules live podcast. Me and Tom Heath and a whole bunch of guests, like too many guests because I've invited too many people, are going to be doing a live podcast recording in the Toot Suite just outside Hall 1, 8 o'clock on the Saturday night. Please come. I have a big box of Jaffa cakes. I thought it was going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. I'm going to have to buy some more boxes of Jaffa cakes because basically everybody who turns up gets a Jaffa cake. That's the plan anyway. I might eat them all first though. Yeah, so that's UK Games Expo. Oh, and Friday night, if you are a Patreon supporter, well, even if you're not, to be honest, but I'm doing a Gaming Rules meetup at the Ibis Styles NEC in the bar area Friday night. Yeah, so Thursday night I'm at the press event. Friday night is the meetup. Saturday night is the live podcast recording. Anybody who wants to play a game with me in the evening, sorry, but Expo is not the place that it's going to happen. Right. Personal news, we got 2 cats. You saw one of them earlier on, that was Loki, the evil twin brother, which is not very fair on him because he's really cute, and Thor, the ginger and white one. So we have 2 new cats. I've spoken about this before. We've had them 4 weeks now, and they've recently just started going out. Only a few days ago have they now learnt how to use the cat flap. Before that, they weren't allowed out, and then when we did allow them out, they refused to use the cat flap. So we couldn't really let them out unattended. Anyway, they are now in and out all the time because they know how to use the cat flap. They're both lovely. They're both male. They fight a lot. They're playing a lot. I mean, they're fighting less now that they're getting to go out. We let them in our bedroom at night and we had 2 weeks of, oh, yeah. It's not as bad as having a newborn baby. Not that I really know, but, you know, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, waking up with a cat on your head, purring away. Now, thankfully, they let us sleep through most of the time. I'll put some pictures on screen now of Thor and Loki, just so you can see how cute they are. But obviously, cats have brought us happiness in our life, which we were missing. They're very fascinated by Marble, our mouse, and they constantly stare at her cage. Other things that have been going on. Watched Stranger Things Series 2. Did I mention that last month? I probably did. Anyway, what else have we watched? Catching up on old episodes of QI. I've been doing a bit of painting. I've almost finished my Flamme Rouge miniatures and I've started painting the spaceships from Red Alert Space Warfare thing from PSC Games. So that's been forced downtime for me. A couple of hours, probably each night, just in front of the TV, forcing my brain to detach from work. Of course, when I've finished, I then go upstairs and do a little bit of work before going to bed, which is probably not the best thing. But I like doing things that have an end result, and I'm looking at my spaceships now over there on the mantelpiece, and I'm really happy with them. So although I've painted like 8, and I've got about 128 to go, it's good, and I'm happy with it. So anyway, that I think is everything that I've normally cover in my video logs. I've covered the games that I've played, I've covered the Patreon stuff, I've done the contest, I've done what you can win next month, I've talked about UK Games Expo, so yes, I will see you at UK Games Expo. The next video log will be some point in May. Thank you very much to all of my Patreon supporters for basically making this possible. Without you, this and a lot of the other content that I create just would not be possible. Thank you very much for helping me. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Gaming Rules is proudly sponsored by Game Toppers, upgrading your gaming experience. Visit GameToppersLLC.com.